I used to send 100 cold DMs every single day in my agency for over a year, and it got me absolutely zero clients. So this is how I flipped the script and built a system where clients come to me. Let's jump into it. First, I'll quickly run through the old model, and then I will deep dive into this new way of booking calls that allowed me to scale to 100K a month. I'm going to be ranking every one of these models by their scalability, the ease to manage, the quality of clients that they produce, the cost to acquire clients, and the close rate. So let's jump straight into it. The old way and the way most agency owners are booking calls is through cold outreach, cold email, cold DMs, cold calling. All of these have an ABR of about 2 to 3% on average, which means that you have to send about 100, let's say, cold emails to book 3 discovery calls. And from those discovery calls, they usually get a 10% close rate on a 2K a month close. This is like the most basic way to run a marketing agency. I will get into the numbers shortly, but first of all, let's talk about the scalability of this model. And the issue with doing cold outreach is that it becomes exponentially more complex. So sending 10,000 emails a month is not 10 times more difficult than sending 1,000 emails a month. It's 50 or 100 times more difficult because you have more points where this system can break. You need more leads, you need bigger lists. Every single new lead is more difficult to scrape. So you get the point, it just becomes more complex. So let's actually reverse engineer the numbers here. So let's say you want to get to 25K a month with 13 clients, which is what you need if you are charging 2K a month. By the way, if you have messed up fucked pricing, make sure to check out my latest YouTube video. Next, you have a 10% close rate. As I said, that is completely standard in the SMMA game, which means that you need 130 discovery calls to close those 13 clients. And again, if you want a higher close rate, I have a video on the sales process. I'm going to link that down in the description, so feel free to check that out after this video. If you then have a 2% ABR and you need 130 discovery calls, you need to send 6,500 cold emails. And if you then have a 3-month lifetime on your clients, so they churn after 3 months, which is pretty normal by sending cold emails because you are reaching out to completely cold people, you have a 6K LTV, and you need to send 2,166 cold emails and take 43 discovery calls every single month just to maintain 25K a month. So I hope you can see how this is not really a scalable model. Next, ease to manage and the time required. So it requires a high time investment of about 3 to 4 hours a day, and you are doing repetitive and boring work, which is a super easy way to hate your life. You are doing constant firefighting because there's constantly something breaking, emails being shut down, you getting put on blacklists, shit like that, which takes away mental focus from other aspects. And lastly, it has a high barrier to entry. Yes, it's not that difficult to just send an email, but if you want this really solid system with all the proxies, with all the emails, it is a complex system and it has a steep growth curve where you'll probably not see any results for the first 2 to 3 months while you're just trying to figure out how this works. Next, quality of clients. You get pretty shitty clients that are high maintenance. They are much harder to keep happy and require more time invested per client. They have higher churn, which puts you on an infinite hamster wheel. The feedback loop I just explained here. You have to take 43 discovery calls every single month just to maintain 25K a month, and it negates absolutely everything else you do. Once a client churn, all the cold email you did, all the service delivery you did, all the internal operations you did, everything just is wiped out when that client churns. So that is the worst thing that can happen in your agency, and you get a lot of that by doing cold outreach. And lastly, you just get less referrals because the power dynamic is off, where they feel that they're doing you a service and not the other way around, because you reached out to them and not, as I said, the other way around, which I will get to in a second, how to solve all of this. Lastly, the cost to acquire clients. You may think that cold outreach is pretty cheap, but it's not. So first of all, payroll, you need an SDR. Let's say you pay them 2K a month, which is about $10 an hour. Next, software. So you need emails, you need proxies, and you need sending software, which is about $400 to $500 a month, which is not too much. But the most important cost to consider here is your time. So let's first of all look at your hourly rate. Let's say you are at 10K a month already, which is $57 an hour. If you spend 3 hours a day managing this system, you are losing out on 5.2K a month in potential time that you could have spent on something else, but that you decided to spend on babysitting this system. And even more important is the opportunity cost. So every month you're not making 100K, you are losing 100K. And this system just does not allow you to unlock your full potential and actually scale to the numbers you want to be at. So if we add all of this up, this system is costing you 6.7K every single month, plus the opportunity cost, which doesn't sound super cheap to me. So enough, you probably understand why this is a broken model. Let's get into this new way of signing clients that I've been using at my own agency, and that is authority-based attraction. Basically building a personal brand that automatically books you qualified bookings, that automatically books you qualified meetings. You jump on a discovery call, you have a 30 to 50% close rate on a 5K a month close. These are the exact numbers that I have in my own agency, and I'm able to charge 2 to 3 times more for the exact same service just by using a different acquisition system, because people come to you, they have trust. I will get into all of that in a second. And the reason why I recommend this model and why you don't really hear much about it is that you are being lied to. So every person telling you to do outreach, look at all the gurus, and every single one of them that is telling you to do outreach is doing authority-based attraction on their own. They are building personal brands. That's why you are watching them. That's why you're watching this video, because I'm doing authority-based attraction for my personal brand as well. So do as successful people do, not as they say. So let's get into the scalability of this model. Well, it is super scalable because you building more audience doesn't mean that you need to put in more work. You still put in the same amount of work, you put out the same amount of content, and your audience just keeps growing. Next, it creates a positive feedback loop. So by having a bigger personal brand, you get more clients, and more clients attract more clients because you get better case studies that you can post on your personal brand, you can produce better content, and you get more referrals. So it creates a super positive feedback loop where, as I said, you doing well in your personal brand builds up the personal brand and makes you do even better. And lastly, let's just again reverse engineer the numbers here to see what we are working with. So let's say you want to get to 25K a month. Again, with this model, you can cut down the amount of clients from 13 to 5 because you are charging much more for your services. If you then have a 30% close rate, you only need 17 discovery calls, not 130 as you needed with the old model, and you are booking meetings automatically, so you don't really have like an ABR. The meetings just come into your calendar through your personal brand. And in my agency, I have a 9-month lifetime on my clients, again, because people come to me warm, they know who I am, they trust me, so they stay with us for much longer, which gives us a 45K LTV, which is pretty unheard of in the agency space, which creates leverage in each step. As you see, you need less clients, you need less discovery calls, you have a longer lifetime on your clients, so everything compounds to be able to extract as much value as possible from every single one of your clients. Next, the ease to manage and the time required. This is a medium to low time investment. I wouldn't say low time investment, but medium to low. You only have to spend about 1 to 2 hours a day posting content, and you just have fewer points of contact because you only talk with people who are already interested, who are already warm, who are reaching out to you. You don't need to target every single person in your audience to convert them. They come to you once they are ready. So you have much fewer conversations daily, but those conversations are of a much higher quality. Next, you're doing much more iteration than you are doing firefighting. If a post flops, you just make it better next time. You don't have to constantly be putting out fires. It has a low barrier to entry. You can begin posting in 5 minutes. It doesn't require like super complex systems to begin using, and it has a ton of leverage. It builds leverage over time. So for example, content that you posted 12 months ago, 18 months ago, 24 months ago can still book you calls. So you just build the system and make it more and more and more of a funnel with every single month. It's not like you send an email, it's seen, it's gone. It stays on the internet and it keeps generating you leads. Next, the quality of clients? Well, the clients you get are more lenient because they already know you, they trust you, they like you, they come to you, they want your service. The power dynamic is exactly where you want it to be. You are doing them a service, they're not doing you a service by working with you. And when they are more lenient, you can fuck up more times and still keep the client. They just have a lower barrier for what they consider to be a good service. Next, they're easier to fulfill on because again, they are less demanding because they have a lower barrier for what is considered good, and they are more cooperative. So they are more likely to send you the content that you need quicker. They are more likely to answer faster, jump on calls, all of that stuff that makes your life easier, which overall leads to less time spent per client, which creates better margins. So you can have less people in your agency managing more clients. Next, you get more referrals, which again builds our positive feedback loop that I was just talking about here. Next, you have longer retention. So you jump off this replacement hamster wheel that you are on when you are doing cold outreach. The clients compound on top of each other. They have a 9-month lifetime. So you have a ton of time to actually sign new clients and build your agency and not chase the losses of last month. And as I said, each client is just worth 5 to 6 times more in the long run. So signing one client is worth 45K and not, let's say, 9K or 5K the way it is in most agencies because they churn after a month or two. Lastly, the cost to acquire clients. Well, payroll, none. You don't really have any payroll. It's just you posting the content. In terms of software, you'll need LinkedIn Sales Snap, which is $84 a month, and your time. And let's make this fair and let's make the same calculation we did for the cold outreach. So your hourly rate, let's say you are at 10K a month already, you are earning $57 an hour. If you spend 1.5 hours a day on the system, you will be spending the equivalent of 2.6K a month in your time, which leads to a total monthly cost for this model of 2.6K, including your hard costs and your time. And the cool thing about this model is that it unlocks your maximum potential. You don't have an opportunity cost because this is how you scale to 100K a month, by building authority-based attraction and not cold outreach. If you're still relying on cold outreach to grow your agency, you are burning time, energy, and trust, and it won't scale. I built my agency to over 100K a month with 75+% margins by switching to authority-based client acquisition, where clients actually come to me. So I don't do any cold DMs, I don't have any crazy follow-up sequences, and I don't have a 10-step sales process. Right now, I'm opening up 3 slots to work with other agency owners who want to make this shift. I will personally one-on-one guide you through the performance growth protocol to restructure your acquisition around inbound leads, high-ticket clients, and long-term retention. So if you are ready to stop chasing and start attracting, DM me the word authority on Instagram and I'll send you over the details. Thank you for watching. I'll see you at the top.